Welcome to Homoeopathic Lighter. We discuss cardinal principles, mainly law of similia, fundamental principle of homeopathy, which is otherwise known as a cardinal principle, law of similia, law of minimum, law of simplex, theory of vital force, theory of drug ionization, and theory of chronic disease. Now we shall discuss by some introduction brief point about history of introduction of a cardinal principle. What are the history? We shall written in the introduction point of a long question of a cardinal principle. So we know the branch of medicine is as old as human civilization. As because humans need medicine, so those days when the human civilization are started, before that the branch of medicine is found. Itself has traveled a long tortuous path from primitive days till death. The day of ultra modern scientific revolution is occurs day by day in the medicinal field. During this process of evolution of this medicinal field, there is many theories has been discovered, improved, new are taken place in the old. Homeopathic medical science is the product of such an evolution of this medicine, ultra scientific revolution of medicine, which belonging to the latter part of the 18th century. It is the system not only discovered by but also shaped and nurtured by important name. This is the full name of Samuel Hahnemann, that is Dr. Christian Friedrich Samuel Hahnemann, who not only discovered but gives the shape and nurture to this homeopathic society. The system is based on various levels of laws of nature. Nature's law it belongs. So and other observation, which are collectively known as a cardinal principle. Observation means the theories part, that is theory of vital force, theory of drug ionization, and theory of chronic disease. And the three law, that is law of similia, law of minimum, law of simplex. We start with law of similia. Now law of similia, which is introduced in the aphorism 26. It is the most important fundamental among all the fundamental principles. So that's why it has the first law. Homeopathic science is based on the natural law we discussed before, which means the similar things are treated with similar means. What does means? Means the homeopathy is based on the similar current. We discuss later what does it means. Means a let like to be treated by likes. This natural law is otherwise known as a therapeutic law of nature. So you should remember this other name also. Now according to the law, the relationship between natural and artificial disease is known as a similarity. The medicine which produces similar illness to that of the natural medicine can only cure that particular illness. In other words, what does it means? Means those medicine which can only cure illness if he able to produce a similar one. That means the similis cures. If a medicine when given to a healthy person, if those symptoms which are created, those malaria or those symptoms which are created that type of disease, then this medicine also cure that type of symptoms illness of that disease which is occurred in a diseased person. Understand? I hope. If not, then please again you repeat this video. Then sick making property is the disease relieving property or curing property. The law was conceptualized by Samuel Hahnemann. How he conceptualized? After suffering from malaria-like illness as consequence of acute crude cinchona bark. Crude cinchona bark means in a raw form. After taking several times crude cinchona bark, after several similar experiments, he broke out. Means in his body and others family members of his family members and others followers, he take the same experiment and he observed the same consequence what happened. So that several experiments shows that he broke out his information before the world through Hopland Journal under the title of Essay on New Principle, asserting the curative part of the drug. That is the law of similia. So law of similia, what it is say, the therapeutic law of nature was not a new to Hahnemann, but it could be advocated and employed by other scientists and others for the therapeutic purpose in the more systematic and standardized way. So he only standardized in a systematic way represent, but before that there is a mention of regarding law of similia in Hippocratic writing, in Vedic scripture, in Kalidas, Odia Kalidas, Kavi, poet. So according to this law is that a weaker dynamic affection action is permanently extinguished by a similar stronger one, which we first read in this similia similibus curat. Okay. Second, law of minimum. In homeopathic system of medicine, medicinal agents are intended to produce similar artificial disease to that of natural one. We understand before by law of similia discussion. So, intended to produce similar artificial disease. So, artificial disease is made by whom? Made by medicine. Natural disease is made by whom? By the nature by which the fever or the coldness appear to that disease, the person, by loss of immunity or a decrease in immunity. That's why the nature causes the disease in that particular individual. Okay, we understand. The medicine produce similar type of illness what the patient suffering from. Okay, medicine always produces similar type of illness, those illness which a patient suffering from. It is quite obvious that the existing disease will be intensified after addition of a similar artificial one. So if we give that similar medicine, then what happens? There will be intensification of that disease will be occur. Right or wrong? Right. So for this, it is motto of the physician to render the relief that person in order to he give a minimum dose for minimum intensification. The doses of the medicinal agent need to be minimized for that minimum intensification of that disease or pain. In order to administer a minimum dose, homeopathic medicine are prescribed in a potentized form. Okay, that's why the minimumness appears in that medicine, so that there will be less physical fatigue will be occur. How potentization occur? By dilution succussion. Potentization occur. What is dilution? By water adding or alcohol adding. There will be the crude form is decreases and potentization dynamic form is increases, so that the physical that crude substance which is appears in a that is not formed in the 30 or 200 potency. Okay. Initially, Master Henneman himself also prescribed the medicine in a mother tincture form, but it leads to a aggravation in the exciting condition. So gradually he went to reducing the dose in order to produce a least excitable, stronger artificial disease. It is not a wise that a physician should use medicine to use more dose when minimum dose is sufficient to cure the illness. So that according to the Arnold Scrooge, another medical doctor, who says that law of minimum, that is minimum dose stimulate, moderate dose paralyze and maximum dose kill. So it is always advised to the physician to stimulate the vital force by minimum possible dose, so that the vital force is stimulated and which later on remove the natural disease. Okay, we discuss. So similar relation between natural and artificial. Natural means some exciting cause or anything which causes disease automatically. There is no a strong reason behind the disease occurrence. So this is a natural disease. And artificial, we know artificial means the disease which is caused by the allopathic medicine or any medicine does not amount a treatment to be homeopathy. So this does not amount a treatment to be homeopathy unless it is given in a minimum dose. If the artificial disease which is given by a minimum dose, then the disease which is occur, this disease and the similar relationship between this minimum dose compiled artificial disease and the natural disease can cure according to the homeopathic principle, not others. Okay, understand this line? Then homeopathic medicine are always prescribed in a single form. Why? The cause of disease is morbidly affected by the vital force. We know disease is what? It is the morbid affection of a vital force. That is the definition of a disease, which is a unit in itself. So disease and vital force, they mix together in a unit in itself, written in which apogee 7. So for the single unit, single mean must be employed. So for that a single unit, then single mean means not other principle is applied to this. Both, if both are different, then other different principle is applied. Due to these are similar component of a unity, so the similar principle is applied. So what is the similar principle? That adopted witness a curative response. It is always advisable to use a single simple way instead of a several complex way. Means we use a single medicine, not a various different medicine. Use of a complex way are strictly prohibited in homeopathic practice. Why prohibited? There is a reasonable answer in later part of the video. More than one medicine not only makes may only make us failing in our desired result of the curing, but also produce some adversities, means side effect also can arise due to this complex medicine given in the homeopathic field. So the logic behind this, that homeopathy system which does not support polypharmacy or practice of multiple medicine. That's why the homeopathy never support of this various medicine given in is just as in allopathic way and multiple medicine at the same. Why? Because of these adversities and we cannot found the desired result. That's why homeopathy not support this polypharmacy system. So medicine which are proved, why the medicine which are proved in a single form and the soul of matter medica are considered. During the proving, we prove the medicine in a single form. So how can we give the medicine in a polypharmacy way? So due to this, it is discarded. Medicine are proved in a single form because and this medicine which symptoms are arise, this form is the soul of the matter medica. The drug interaction between multiple drugs not known, neither they are proved at a time nor clinically verified. So due to this also discardation of a polypharmacy, because we don't prove the multiple drug in at a time, so we do not have the strong relationship or a strong relationship between one drug with other. Therefore the drug interaction between the multiple drug we don't know. So because neither it is proved at a time nor clinically verified. Okay. It is quite unless to use multiple means when single medicine is sufficient to meet our desired result by releasing the ill effect of a vital force. So it is quite useless if we use the multiple medicine for the same result when there is a single medicine can sufficient to overcome this vital force illness. So at no times we should use more than one medicine in order to cure the sick, which may result in something not desired. That's why we always use the law of simplex in our medicine clinical life. Thank you. Doctrine about drug proving. First doctrine, that is a doctrine about drug proving. What does it mean? Pathogenic power of a drug can only be revealed through human experimentation. So pathogenic power of a drug means what? The drug when introduced into the medicine, then introduced into the human being, then those the symptoms, sign and symptom, which is known as pathogenic symptoms or pathogenic power of a drug. Drug proving is nothing but the systematic and standardized process of investigating therapeutic property of a drug on healthy human being. Drug proving is nothing but systematic, one by one. It is a procedure standardized by the World Homeopathic Association. Process of investigate, search the therapeutic property of that unknown drug by testing on the healthy human being. In homeopathic system, medicine we do prescribe simillimum on the basis of a symptom. The symptom which we discussed before, the law of simillimum, you can understand. If not, then go and again and please understand. Then we will understand the latter part of this video. So similarity between the patient and medicine should be the match to get a particular indicated remedy. Similarity between patient and medicine. So the disease producing power of a particular drug is its therapeutic ability. That is the pathogenic power of that drug. No medicine can cure over the illness unless it has the ability to produce the same. We know before these things repeated. To find out that therapeutic virtue of the medicine means those unknown medicine which we discovered, to find out we should prove it upon healthy human being of different sex, different age group and a different constitution, so that it is the symptoms it varies all the sphere of the medicine in all the living organism. That's why it is applicable in both sex, both different age and also different constitution. Instead of going through laboratory investigation, we rely on human laboratory. Why? Human being is preferred than animals because the symptomology which we find in the human being proving is not equal to the animal. That's why finally we have to treat human, so we should prove in the human. Moreover, the subjective mental symptoms cannot be obtained from lower animals, which is a very good important part of the treatment in the homeopathic medicine. That first we give importance during the case taking the subjective mental symptom. That's why these subjective mental symptom if we not find in the drug proving in the lower animal. That's why will not go towards the laboratory investigation rather than human laboratory investigation. Disease persons are to be excluded from the group of approval in order to found a pure unintermingled pathogenic drug. If the disease person is comes under the drug proving, then what happens? The disease and the drug symptoms are intermixed with each other. That's why we always advise to prove the drug in the healthy human being. Drug proving must be carried in a following definite guidelines, which is the Organon of Medicine 105 to 145, which is belongs to which syllabus? That is third year BHMS syllabus. After obtaining this symptom from the individual prover, there is a critical analysis occur. Critically, logically, statistically, those pure symptoms are analysis. Then the pure mathematical is makeover occur. So mathematical, what it contains? It contains the symptom which is collected during the drug proving along with the clinical symptom from the toxicology and poisoning of the forensic department. So drug proving is said to be a first step of evolution of homeopathic system of medicine. So drug proving is the evolution of homeopathic medicine. Now how the homeopathic medicine is evolution occur, you can know by this drug proving. Drug proving itself is a evolution of homeopathic medicine. So it is not occur at that honeymoon period. It is not so much systematically analyzed, but nowadays it is very much because there is a sensitization of then selected drug is given to the selected individualized prover. So it is a very systematic order. So this is the, that's why it is term as drug proving is said to be a first step of evolution of homeopathic system of medicine. Second theory, that is theory about drug dynamization. So theory about drug dynamization means that for health and disease in a dynamic nature. In homeopathy, it is believed that health and disease occurs in a dynamically form. Medicine should be brought in a dynamic, energetic state in order to combat with dynamic disease process. So medicine also have the dynamic way to counteract with the disease which is also in dynamic in the process. That's why by the process of potentization, this crude drug, the crude medicine which is found in the homeopathic medicine are converted into dynamic state. So drug or dynamization is convert the crude state to dynamic. It is simply the conversion of physical state to dynamic, which is not visible, not can assimilated by any type of chemical method, because there is no chemical composition is found, because the drug is convertedly into dynamic form. So it is nothing but a subtle or energetic and a spiritual state of existence, which I describe. That subtle means in the space, in the energetic, which is not visible, not feeling, it is only perceived. Potentization is nothing but the mathematico-mechanical process by which crude drugs are brought to the state of physically soluble, physiologically assemblable, and therapeutically active. This is the most important viva question of the year. That is, potentization means it. You should remember, you should repeat, you should understand it, so that it will be easier for you to tell in the viva. So mathematico-mechanical process. So how the potentization occur? It is comes in our video in homeopathic pharmacy playlist. So go through this, you can understand this whole phrase. So the basis of life is the vital force, which is dynamic in nature. So vital force is also the soul, the body, how it is a dynamic. Just like if a person is died, the body is remain as it, but the soul is get of that is the dynamic in nature. You can't understand what happened so that the person is died. What is the things left? You can't see it, but understand or perceive it. That's why the basis of life is vital in nature. Morbific noxious agents are also in dynamic nature. That's why the cause of disease occurs. The soul is dynamic, the disease is dynamic, the cause of disease is dynamic, all are dynamic. So that the medicine also need to be dynamic. Okay, that is the difference between allopathy and homeopathy. Homeopathy dynamic is present, but allopathy or modern system there will be no dynamic form of disease medicine is found. What is the importance of dynamization? Inert crude drug substance are converted into effective medicine, such as NaCl, which we use in a common salt in our day-to-day life. But this can also cure the disease if we convert it into dynamic form by succussion and dilution. Deadly poisonous and toxic substance also converted into medicine. Insoluble such as petroleum, which is insoluble in crude form but dynamically it converted into soluble in water. Inassimilable substance such as crude iron, crude copper, they are not assimilated in our body, but by dynamization it is assimilable occur. Therapeutic efficacy is improved because the drug is converted into dynamic form. That's why therapeutic efficacy is improved, so that there will be loss of a physical composition which leads to therapeutic efficacy increasement. Okay. Now last theory of chronic disease. Last theory, that is all natural diseases are broadly divided into two parts, acute and chronic. Chronic is what? Chronic is the imperceptible beginnings. The beginning you can't understand. Indefinite course, prolonged course, long course, and the termination always death if medicine is not taken. The treatment of a chronic disease is much difficult and complex in case of a chronic disease. Why? Because the disease having imperceptible beginning, indefinite course, prolonged course. If the medicine cure, sometimes it is seen that pseudo cure occur. Means just stop your medicine, your disease is again reappear. That is the so that it is much difficult and complex in case of a chronic disease for the treatment. The theory of chronic disease was evolved by the Dr. Henneman in year 1828. After a long search from 1816 to 1828, means 12 years searching, he find that the finally declared the chronic disease is caused by the chronic miasm. The cause of chronic disease is chronic miasm, which is the fundamental cause of such illness. So chronic disease is of three types: psoriasis, psychosis, syphilis. So chronic disease characterized deep-seated, more resembled and more troublesome in treatment. So chronic disease require a special mode of treatment. Without anti-miasmatic medicine, the chronic disease never cure. So chronic disease can never cure if the miasmatic environment can be known from the age. So chronic disease can never cure, but if the anti-miasmatic medicine is given, then chronic disease cure occur. So how we find the miasmatic? By case taking of that patient, of age, sex, occupation, social and domestic relation, intellectual character. Okay, the miasm are also known from the history and pathological environment, as well as presentation of which gives a anti-miasmatic medicine. By this case taking, we find a systematic case taking. After that, we find a anti-miasmatic medicine selection by the symptom similarity must be prescribed for that chronic disease. For radical cure, for sudden cure and radically and completely cure never happen if anti-miasmatic medicine, which shall be a remedy. If occur, then the cure occur. Remedy means particular indicated medicine. Those anti-miasmatic medicine definitely cure that psoriasis or any type of a disease, such as sulfur is anti-psoriatic, mercury anti-syphilitic, thuja anti-psychotic, gonorrhea or any type of a suppressed eruption is always cured by this thuja. So this is all about the theory of chronic disease. With this we complete our 6 cardinal principles. If you like, then subscribe, like us, and if any query, ask us in our comment box. Thank you.